Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they and them. I'm Simpiwe Mtetwa. I'm not Gareth Cliff. He is going to be joining us. I don't know if he's running a bit late or if he is out and about getting married. I see Cunning Stunt says that he had a dream that Gareth was getting married and that the wedding was over 3 days because he wanted all his audience to attend in shifts. Could this be the case, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. We'll find out in due time. For those who don't know, I am Simpiwe Mtetwa, but you can call me Sims. And we're just gonna rock out, have good vibes, good laughs, just have some, wonderful memories. I hope you guys are good, and I hope you guys had a great week, I know I did. Yesterday we said farewell to MASH, and I can't believe that chapter's coming to an end. We're not going to hear all the juicy, spicy stories from MASH, but it is what it is. It do what it does, and we got to keep it moving. I'm going to read out some comments here. There's someone saying, good morning. Matthew over here saying, Cliff is late again. Guys, it's winter. What can we do? What must we say? It's very hard to get out of those warm blankets. Like I struggled this morning getting out. So I understand if he is, if he overslept, but maybe he is getting married. We don't know. We really, really don't know. I see a comment over here that says, can't wait for my weekly Simpiwe fix. I mean, I'm here taking over the show. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And, we have another one here from, MASH is gone. Yes, for those who don't know, MASH is going to be a corporate baddie. So he's basically, leaving us for, I don't know, suits and ties. I don't know why he would want to leave us, but I'm not judging him. I'm not. I have a question here. Sims, did you have a good week? Because MASH is now gone. Ha ha ha. It's been a good week, man. It's always a good week to have a good week. I'm going to miss MASH. I have so much love for MASH. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to miss him. I mean, we did a podcast together. He was my partner in crime in a lot of the conversations we've had on the show. So he shall be missed. Okay? All right? Thank you very much. So for all those that are chasing summer, I have some stats to share with you. I wanted to wait and share this with Gareth, but because he's not here, I mean, we shall continue. The countries where you're most likely to die in as a tourist. So you guys know I like sharing information, about studies that are taking place. And I love this one because a lot of South Africans do like chasing summer. And I think it's very important that you know, which country should you be avoiding when you're out and about traveling, living your best life. So this study was done by the Global Epidemia of Tourist Fatalities, and the most likely way to die on holiday is getting on a bus. So if you take a bus as a tourist, just know that your hours are numbered. Some other crazy ways that tourists have died in the space of 2 years include 2 people dying from food poisoning, so be careful what you eat, 4 people being buried alive, 6 people dying from an amusement park ride, 14 people dying from trying to take a selfie. Now that's crazy for me. Like, really, is getting that shot that important over your life? Like, are you not looking where you're stepping? But hey, let me not judge. Then 25 people have died from being attacked and killed by animals. Okay, so when you see that leopard, that cheetah, that lion, it's not your friend. Just, go the other direction. And tourist nationalities most likely to die. In 5th place, we have American. So if you are American, just, be cautious. In 4th place, we have British. In 3rd place, we have the Chinese. And then also in 2nd place, we have Russian. And in the 1st place, we have South Korean. So if that is your nationality, just pass up when you go out and about traveling, living your best life, because you just might, And then countries most likely to die in as a tourist. So if you guys want to take any bets on who's at number 1, this is your time to do so. But coming in at number 5 is Thailand. Okay, maybe it's those Thai massages that you get there. I don't know. Coming in at number 4 is France. Oui, oui, si. Coming in at number 3 is South Korea. At number 2, which is one that I was super surprised by, it is Egypt. Do you want to guess which country comes in at number 1? I'll read out some comments for those who like to guess. But coming in at number 1 is China. It is China. So that's like the one country that you are most likely to die in as a tourist. All right. So next time you are planning your holiday destination and, you are trying to live your best life, chasing summer, just keep in mind, okay, those nationalities, those countries, to just be extra cautious. All right. And I'm also surprised that South Africa wasn't there. I think it's very, very dangerous, but I also think it's also like because we just know how to deal with crime in South A. I see someone is saying Swiss, number 1 is Swiss, maybe, we don't know. A lot of people asking, where is Gareth? Well, he's probably getting married somewhere, out there. He's probably left us again to live his best life. I don't know. I really don't know. But we will find out in due time where he is, what he's doing. Maybe use the hashtag where is Gareth. And that's basically what I wanted to share with you guys right at the beginning of the show. You guys think I make these things up? I really don't. I Google, I research, I make sure that I'm always giving you guys information. Trying to save a life is very, very important for me. And I think that's all I can say. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Talking about just traveling and going, everywhere and everywhere. I recently discovered a new favorite spot, if I can say, somewhere where I'm going to be just spending a lot of my time over the next few weeks, if the money allows. And that will be going to the most expensive golf course in South Africa. So this is going to be my new hunting ground for a husband, ladies and gentlemen. And I have brother man producer Ryan over here. And he's just gonna,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
There we go.
Yes. So this is
all type of issues this morning.
Don't worry. I'm sharing with the people like my new hunting ground for where I want to get a man.
Oh yeah.
And it's the most expensive golf course in South Africa. So we've always known that golf is a rich man's sport. I've always known that, right? But this particular golf course, right? You have to pay
how much?
Over 2 million to become a member. Over 2 million rand to become a member. I was like, oh my gosh, sign me up, right?
2 mil, huh?
2 mil. And
wait, is that once off or is that like a yearly?
No, that's just to join, and then you still
join.
Just to join. It has nothing to do with your playing fees. It has nothing to do with all the other costs that comes with being a golf member or golf player. And if you're wondering where this place is, it is the Links Golf Course, which is in George, in the garden
it's in George.
of the Western Cape.
Of course it's in George.
Mm-hmm. So
is that where Ben played golf last week?
I don't know. I think so. I'm excited. I now need to take Ben more seriously in life because apparently he's been there before. That means he knows the kind of people.
Oh, he's been there before?
I'm trying to...
Okay.
I'm trying to get to know. So that was like a really cool fun fact for me. I was like, ooh, yes, let's go. Let's go. But yeah, that's basically, something that I'm very excited about. I'm definitely going to be going to the Links and just...
Do you know how to play golf?
No, I'll learn. They'll teach me.
Have you gone to like one of those driving ranges? By the way, Gareth is coming on. He did let me know. He's coming on now, so you don't have to stress about it. He's up.
I don't know.
You haven't gone to a driving range?
The only thing I know, thanks to Ben now, is what a handicap is.
I actually still don't know what it is. I wasn't paying attention that day.
You see, I was. So now Ben can definitely take me as his +1 when he goes to all the golf courses. But I want to go to this one because it's so prestigious. And they only allow like 100 members at a time to be on the golf course.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it's very elite as well. It's like...
Wow. There's too many rich people in one place, man.
I love it. I love it. Like, I just need one to notice me. But how are you doing, producer Ryan?
I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm a little tired, but you know.
Yeah.
So, it's so cold today, though.
It is.
It's very cold. You know, it's cold when the snow globe in my car goes on. It goes, I think when it hits 3 degrees and under.
Yeah, I get notified.
It gets a little snowflake on there. And I was like, damn, no, this is way too cold.
Apparently, somewhere inside, it is snowing, guys.
Yes.
Can you
I
believe
actually have a video
it?
of this.
Oh.
I was also going to say for Gareth when he got on, but this is in the Eastern Cape, people. I mean, come on.
Oh wow! Did you hear that cough?
Yeah, I don't know.
It came straight from the soul.
I don't know what's going on in the background, but something doesn't sound too good. No, so that's snowing in the Eastern Cape, guys. I'm surprised it hasn't snowed here yet because it just feels like it's that time.
I don't think it will. I don't like snow. The 1 time or 2 times we've experienced it, it was really, really cold.
That's what Sana says. I'm wearing a t-shirt in here. The reason is because Simpiwe has got this thing cranked to like 25 degrees.
Yeah, I don't play with the cold like that. Okay?
So hot in here. I can't even tell you. But outside, it's
not freezing. That hot, okay? I just don't want to be shivering in the studio, you know? And I'd rather just be slightly warm. That's it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? There's a comment here. Do you want to embarrass yourself in front of your potential? Practice in your back garden, Simpiwe. Hey, you know, the trick is, this is
Do you have a big enough back garden?
Here's the trick. One thing I've learned about men is that men always want to feel needed, right? So if I come there as the damsel in distress, oh, please help me, they're going to want to help me. They're going to want to show me the ropes. They're going to tell me about, you know, the all the equipment that they have, you know, they're gonna teach me about their handicap. They're gonna so
you want to be taught, like you want to embrace that, like when you get there. Okay, I see.
Yes, so that's all I'm saying is that I want my partner or future blue thing to feel like, you know what, he's needed in my life because he's teaching me all these things that I didn't know.
Right.
That's it. That's the game plan, y'all.
You see, even George Meany says he's glad he's not coming into the studio. He'd be sweating. Because of how you crank this thing, Simpiwe.
It's not that hot. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking. Are you sweating right now?
Oh,
do we see drops of sweats coming down your face, right? No, we
but
don't.
I'm in a t-shirt, Simpiwe, and it's 3 degrees outside.
The fact that you left the house in the t-shirt was already where the
I've
danger
got jackets. You've seen my car. I've got like many jackets in there. I just, you know, I take them off when I get inside the house.
I have layers. I was brought up by my grandmother where we wear a vest in winter. Do you know what a vest is, Don?
No.
Oh, my word. So, for all those who don't know, I don't know if it's a black parent thing, but I know it's my grandmother thing, right? In winter, to make sure that you are warm, they used to buy these things called a vest, right? So that's the first thing that you wear, and then you'll wear your t-shirt, and then you'll wear your jersey, and then you wear a jacket. And that was what was keeping you warm throughout winter. And it's kind of been like a staple thing now that, like, you know, as I grow older, in winter, my vests come out. There's some long ones, there's some short ones. They're a bit thick-ish, but they keep you so warm. Like, there's nothing like a good vest that will keep you warm in the winter.
Right. Because a vest means something completely different, you know.
I'm not talking about a wife beater.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's, you know,
the boys.
That's what I was thinking.
The vobs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Can you believe it that the month of June is coming to an end, man? And something that struck me to the core, to my heart, is that the Durban July is still a thing.
Now, you see, I've always wanted to go to the Durban July, but the thing is, who has that kind of time to just take off? You know,
I mean, it's a weekend.
It's always sound fantastic. I've never attended one though.
Yeah, I also haven't attended one, but it is reported that the Durban July is still on track despite rain and flooding in parts of the city. So, firstly, I don't know what Durban has done. I think Durban needs to repent of all its sins and just start all over because what? They go through it all. Like,
no, they do.
They receive all the backlash of Mother Nature, and I think it's just time for them to be honest with the shenanigans that have been happening in Durban. 2, Durban July is still, like, I'm shocked to the core that this is still a thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's in KZN, right? Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this year. Have you seen the floods and the tornadoes and things going on that side?
But it's happening this weekend.
Yeah, I know. But did you see taxis were like in the show yesterday? I think we showed a video or the day before where the taxis were literally floating in this like river-like thing. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I saw, but like Durban will become the epicenter of African horse racing on Saturday as it hosts the much anticipated return of the continent's premier extravaganza. So I don't know. I don't know who's attending. I remember like when I was like, what, 2021, Durban July was the it thing to go to. People were just like, I'm not around for this weekend. I'm going to see you. It was a mess. It was like people, living their best lives. And now I don't know are you really like, you're just going to Durban
I still want to go and see. I still want to check it out one time. Have you ever bet on horses?
No, I've never bet in my life.
You've never bet in your life?
I've never done that thing, guys. That thing is dangerous,
It's funny because during the World Cup, I was betting a lot for all the different football games. Some people were just like giving me ideas on what to bet on.
Yes. I will definitely do that. I will definitely be the one who's like, this team, go with that one, who's strong. But I'm not sure about me actually putting money and possibly losing that. I think for me, it's one of those where I'm like, it's a no-go. Hey, I was brought up with morals, bruh. And it's one of those.
No ways. Betting's so much fun. I love to see it.
It's gambling, dog. It's just gambling. It's like me going to a slot machine. I'm like,
you see, I don't like the slot machines because I feel like they're rigged. I know like a lot of it's rigged, but I just don't like the slot machines.
But they are though. There's actually a formula and a technique in order for you to win. I don't know what that technique is, but I know that there is one. Okay. You see, this is why in life you must just learn random stuff, Ryan. You must just,
Well, I mean, I just like to try everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I plan on doing.
Well, Basitana over here says she's currently in bed with her vest. Yes.
Basitana's in bed.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
How are you doing, Basitana? It's been a minute. Last time I saw your comments, you're busy telling us that Double A is looking very, very cute. Did you slide in the DMs, girl?
Like we needed that in this office. It got a lot smaller when he saw that comment. He's walking around all day.
Yeah, I will say that he did get a bit of a big hit after that. Now he's Mr. Untouchable. He's always been cool, but now he's Mr. Untouchable.
Yeah, what did Bakabantu announce him as?
Oh, so it's Aaron for the gents.
It's Aaron for the gents.
Oh, and then like AJ for the ladies, and then like he has too many names. He has too many names.
Yeah, no. We really didn't need that
liking.
But Sims, I just want to bring up something actually yesterday because you know how much Gareth gives me shit about the whole Prime deal that's been going on for so long. Yesterday he showed a video of Logan Paul and KSI getting pelted with Prime.
Okay.
That was all staged. Did you know this?
Wait, what?
So these guys are like marketing geniuses of our time. And I don't care what people say, but it's true. But I saw a video yesterday Logan Paul put out on Twitter saying that actually everyone fell for it and they got mad marketing out of it because everybody was saying, they got so much hate for Prime. Low key, that's actually not what happened. He put this video out on Twitter yesterday. I'm just going to play it for you.
Okay, cool.
But I just thought he calls it the marketing masterclass with Logan Paul.
Here is another masterclass in marketing. So me and KSI just launched Prime in Germany, Spain, Denmark, and Norway. The turnouts were amazing, but we thought, let's have a little fun with this. What would happen if our fans appeared to be angry at us? A lot of media pickup from the press and the haters.
KSI and Logan Paul were
pelted by supposed fans. So many Prime bottles were being thrown at them. There was like a security risk.
Woo, the media had a field day with this one. They thought they had us. You big dummies forgot. There are fans and we asked them to do it.
Throw your empty bottle at us. We need to make it look like you guys hate us.
I can't take credit for this. This was KSI's idea, but we got tens of millions of free impressions for Prime launching in Europe. And it's a good example of one of my favorite sayings. Perhaps if you don't get the joke, you are the joke.
And did you see that coming?
No, I didn't. I was taken aback. Yeah, I agree with you. They are marketing geniuses. They constantly find a way for us to talk about Prime. Like, I'm not a Prime fan. I'm just like, I've tried the drink. It's good.
You were a lot more excited when you were trying the drink, and then you tried it and you were super let down. I think it was like the first time you actually gave into like a into a hype element, and then you just got super let down.
Yes, I think for me, it was like this whole thing of like, why was it 700 Rand? Like, why would I spend 700 Rand on like just this energy drink, when I can get it for $20 and here it is for $40 now? Like, okay. And I think one thing is I've been following KSI's YouTube career. So it was like, oh my gosh, he's doing something great. He's partnered up with Logan Paul. Let's see what they're doing. Maybe they are doing something incredible. Just to find out, I wish I didn't do that thing to myself. If I could turn back the hands of time, I would, because wow, it was completely atrocious. But I'm glad that I did give them a try, and I love the fact that they constantly upping their game when it comes to the marketing. I had forgotten about Prime until now.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So they're back on our lips, and that's good. And that's what you always want with a product. Apparently, the rumors in the atmosphere on Beyonce's internet, she might be releasing a bedding line.
Beyonce,
the one
bedding line.
Yeah, the one and only, I don't know if it's going to do well. Ivy Park didn't do well. And that's because, in my humble opinion, it was just too expensive, and she never wore like her. Morning, Gareth.
Good
morning. Sorry, I had major internet problems. I'm so sorry.
No problem. People were speculating that you're off getting married.
I thought you left the country again.
I mean that would be tremendous and obviously very, very cool, but alas, sorry, no such luck.
No, we were just talking, Gareth, about how much shit you give me about that Prime stuff. Logan Paul actually put out a video. I'm not going to replay it, but he said actually they asked the fans to pelt the Prime at them so that they could record a video that would go viral, and it got tens of millions of hits.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of them, as far as I can tell. No. As far as I can tell, they have had Prime thrown at them, which tells the whole story. It's bullshit. Ryan, you've lost this game. I'm sorry. There's no way.
If you want to throw Prime at someone, there's lots of it at Checkers.
Correct. Exactly. There's so much. To throw at people. Absolutely.
Oh man. Right. Listen, guys, I gotta get this. I gotta do some stuff in the background here.
Listen
So
to you, Mr.
I'm gonna head
busy.
So we have a full Friday team. I mean, there's everybody here. I'm sorry, I've had terrible internet connection problems. I tried for like 20 minutes to try and get on here, and everything was a disaster. But Ben is here, Simpiwa is here, we're here. Everything is cool. Good morning, everybody. Good work.
Yeah,
excellent. So, Ben, did you do your cold plunge this morning?
Not yet, guys. Otherwise, I'd be shivering and shaking like a stray dog if I was to do that now. I'll do it afterwards.
Yeah, correct.
It's super cold right now. Wow. July is going to be very special.
So, what are the after effects of jumping in that very, very cold water? Because obviously, it looks fucking awful. It must feel terrible. Immediately afterwards, you are shaking like a shitting dog. But what happens?
Well, you feel like a hero, Gareth. Your body is after any kind of adversity that you have, when you give it something of a relief, you feel good. So, I mean, there's no other way to re-describe it. I don't know the science. I don't care about it, but I feel pretty tight and ready and strong for the whole day. But I do a small workout afterwards, which gets a bit of sunlight, which is great.
Okay. Someone said to me, you have to look at the sun for, 10 minutes every morning in order to feel good. Is that true?
Yeah, you really should. And then awake the whole circadian rhythm thing. So you know your start point of your day, and then obviously helps you know your end point of your day. You sleep better. And yeah, I've been doing that for quite a while. And you should also put sun on your balls, Gareth. Sun directly to your balls.
Wait, what?
So
and then,
does that mean you have to lie there with your balls in the sun?
Well, I mean, look, it's if you want to.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, Simpiwe, did you know you had to have your balls in the sun?
No,
Well,
this
you
is
should.
new to. Wait, okay. Wow, Gareth, please try that. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So obviously, I had not only load shedding, but then there was some kind of power failure as well, and all kinds of other bullshit in between, including the loss of water pressure and heat in the water. So that means obviously that you're fucked up completely. That doesn't count nearly as much as jumping into a cold plunge.
So I didn't have power for like 5 days in a row, and then 3 days because our substation sort of melted down a bit, and you know I was so upset for a long time because you're so disconnected to what things that you enjoy, and people would say, well, you know, you cold plunge, so you should like the cold, but it's not that. It's actually not so bad when you do that. When you are told that you cannot have you have to have a cold shower every single day. When you have to try and make the most of a cold bath to clean yourself, that is the worst thing. Everything else is a breeze. Everything, absolutely everything. So what you're going through right now is way worse.
Well, I suppose it's what you're immediately tuned into. So, for example, if you haven't had light or power, whatever you have makes you feel better, right? So you realize very quickly how much you can do without.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be quite difficult for you though, coming back from like a good holiday, and then you have to step into the third worldness of it all.
I tried to come back with a tan, but I don't think I've worked very well. Simpiwe, what do you think? It's like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe a 1. You still look.
Very nice. Thank you. Very good. Okay.
You still look the same. But I have a question for Ben, right? Because during this week, I saw one of your stories uploaded, and you're wearing these shorts that said "Kill Cliff." Is there some issues between the two of you? Is there, you know, you trying to hint, nudge, you know? Just asking.
Well done.
Spot on. Yeah, it's been a lifelong plan.
Die, Gareth. That's what that is.
Lifelong plan to get it all together eventually. It's a slow burn, but I'm getting closer. No, that's it's a very well-known sort of supplement energy drink brand in America.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
thought you guys had issues.
I realized not to take it personally. I mean, if someone wore shorts or a t-shirt that said "Kill Simpiwe," I mean, you'd be like, you know.
I'd be like, what did I do to you? I thought we were homies, you know? I thought you and I were good, but clearly we're not. So,
well, you know what? Like, a while ago, a friend of mine actually brought the brand into the country with a variety of products, and he was giving me stuff because I was training. I was doing something at the time, and he gave me some clothing, which I thought was quite nice. I didn't actually think anything of it, and then I arrived from the show one morning, and that's when the show was kind of like visual, and there was a big thing about cameras on people. And I had this shirt that basically just said "Kill Cliff." And I thought, oh yeah, that's probably not the best option.
Very, very nice. Thank you. That's fine. We got over it very quickly. Just by the way, I mean, we talked with Lebang on Tuesday about huge amounts of spam that are coming in. I have so much bullshit email from people who are trying to scam me. It's properly insane. Simpiwe, do you have this too, or is it just me?
I think this is just a you thing. Maybe Labang is rubbing off on you because she is the queen of being scammed, and that's that's what she's kind of known for. So I think it's just a you thing, Gareth. But just beware because it's tough times that we're living in.
I promise you, I've had in the last, I don't know, 2-3 months more than anyone else that I know, spam wise, bullshit, post office, bank, but obviously fake bank, like this is your bank email, this is your bank balance, but clearly I don't even bank with that bank, so it's obviously nonsense.
Yeah, I always think about this because, like during COVID, office space just died. If you were a landlord with office space, you were seeing your ass. But then there's so much spam and scamming going out there. I wouldn't be surprised if old call centers that used to do actual call centering are now just doing this nonsense. I mean, it's not completely unthinkable in this country, right?
Yeah, so one of the things Ben wants to know about this morning is, could you be in an OnlyFans relationship?
No.
Yeah, well, that's
straight out
most answers, right? And look, the reason I wanted to bring this up is that some people are okay with it.
Yeah,
they're
but
better
what do you
human
mean?
than I am.
Is this a real thing, or is it something that's complete nonsense made up on social media or through email or bullshit?
No, I've often seen stories about this and people mentioning such things on social media, and it just goes back to the age-old story of like, could you date a stripper? But what I find interesting about the OnlyFans thing is that just like maybe scammy call centers or whatever, but like these legitimate businesses that people have nowadays, right? These models / actresses are making so much money, and then they have these sort of like simpy background boyfriends who are okay with it because it's like, well, she makes a good living about it. But then I was kind of reading this article recently where this guy was saying it's actually really motivating having a girlfriend in an OnlyFans relationship because like this. Okay, so there's obviously various levels to what OnlyFans is. It can be, crotch shots, it can be your feet, or it's like full-blown sexual encounters. And this one guy, his girlfriend does sex scenes with different guys, and he's basically part of the production of this. And he and like, I know this gets weird. And then he was justifying it like it was a motivator because what if she does a scene with someone that she finds really attractive? He's now motivated to always look his best or try look better. And you think like if that is the foundation for your relationship,
I can see Simpiwe is already
that's going to result in murder.
Like, I'm kind of with her, even though I don't know what she's gonna think or say about this. If it's like those people who say I'm in an open relationship, I don't buy it at all. Sorry.
Well, you're in a relationship. You're about to need therapy. I think that's what it comes down to. But another justification these people were saying is like, my wife is now like we're setting up for our first house so that we can then obviously build a family. And my wife is making good money on OnlyFans in order to do this, and I totally support her. And that was another sort of justification around that. And you look at that and you go, okay, so you could just work shit jobs, never be able to buy a house, never be able to get the property ladder, probably not start a family, and then what do you do? That's where it becomes harder.
Two issues. Number one, I have an issue with this man who's like, I'm okay with my wife buying everything because OnlyFans is allowing her to make that much. That issue number one, like, no, sir. Number two, I'm just like, no, it's so much. I think it puts unnecessary pressure on the relationship, honestly, for me. It's not just the sexual encounters, it's the fact that like everybody has access to your partner. And I think the one thing that we all pride ourselves in is the fact that you have someone that the whole world wants, but they can't get them. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. And now for what, $20 a month, everybody gets the same thing that you're getting. Everyone's seeing the same thing you get. Like, there's nothing special anymore. Like, the nudes are not special. The footage that you might send to your partner, it's not special because Gareth is getting them as well.
You're not reserving anything for the relationship. So it means nothing.
Yeah,
Nope.
you guys are nail on the head. This is what I thought about the whole time going through this topic. It's like there's nothing special anymore. You basically are just any other guy in the sort of friend zone, dickhead realm. You're basically in the queue, but she knows your name. Is what's
Absolutely.
that's going down to.
That's what most people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
But you know what's so funny, Ben? I saw someone do a poll on Instagram and they were like, if you don't get married, what's your plan B? And a lot of the people were like, OnlyFans. I would sign up for OnlyFans. So
well,
you
that's fine if you are extremely, extremely good looking. But who the hell in the world is going to pay for like pictures of you if you're average looking like me? Like, who's going to pay for that? No one.
Well, Gareth, it comes back to access, right? If no one's got the access and you got the key to that, supply and demand.
But I mean, come on.
There's still hope, Gareth. There's
very
still
sad.
hope. Back
it's
yourself.
Sad and it's pathetic. I'm sorry.
Just do it. Just do what Hayes says and get on that street corner.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so we spoke about this very briefly the other day on the show, but orcas, killer whales, are busy attacking boats in the Mediterranean. And what makes this interesting is that these are not they're not animals who've before tried to engage human beings. Usually they've done their own thing. They've been in animal worlds doing animal things, but now suddenly they're starting to make hunting humans a sport.
Sure.
So what does this tell you about like the nature of sport and the nature of human beings?
Well, I think we need to go back a couple of steps to the orca story. When we mentioned this a couple of years ago, how there's less great white sharks in the False Bay region because the orcas are pulled in and they're fucking them up. That's how hardcore these guys are. And they do it so systematically. Like they pull out their like major sort of internal organs and they just leave the carcass. It's not like they're eating them. These people are like, we know like dolphins. Fun. We know like dolphins are the dicks of the ocean, right? They're a bit rapey. Yeah. They hang out in big gangs. They always like fighting people. Orcas are that times 10. So you've seen these stories recently about attacking boats in the Mediterranean. And you get people who are experts going, well, you know, they don't pose a natural threat to human beings. It's just more they're inquisitive. Inquisitive is just a nice way of saying they're a bunch of dicks. They use these huge size and they go, hey, look, there's a boat. I'm bigger than him. I'm going to fuck with that. And what they do is that they're starting to get, what I understand from seeing trends, is that they're becoming more confident in the fact that they're untouchable in the ocean. Just think that, like, they're untouchable. Like, if you look at the wild, like elephants are like dicks from time to time because they just push over whatever they want because they're untouchable. They're the biggest things. And orcas are that. And it just makes me always think, you know, like this is a bad time for the ocean, obviously, with people dying in submarines. But it actually really is the most helpless place you can ever be in the whole world. That orca weighs 5-6 tons. And if you're in a boat that weighs nowhere close to that, there's a good chance that they'll just push you around.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally. I listen, there are things in the ocean that want to kill you. I mean, we learned this from the Titan submarine thing, which everybody's still talking about. Essentially, if you go down in some kind of submersible craft and things go horribly wrong, people are just, they have no sympathy. Sorry, too bad for you. If you died in a plane accident, people would go, oh, I'm so sorry, that's awful. You know? Yes. Somehow if you go down in some submersible thing, they go, oh, well, you're rich fuck. You deserve it.
Well, that's another slant that people were trying to go on. The fact that the orcas were attacking boats. Like, to have a boat in life, you must be quite wealthy because you know, they're quite expensive to have and they're very much leisure items. So people were trying to make a whole narrative around the fact that the orcas are attacking the rich.
Yeah. So they're communists.
The internet. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's an interesting point that has come up many times on this show, and I want to hear what you two think of this. But Gareth, did you mention a while ago that privacy will be a rare commodity a few years from now? Mm-hmm. I think privacy has become the rarest commodity, and I still think it's the most valuable thing in the world. For very, very, very wealthy people, I mean, this is what they want, is privacy, not publicity.
Well, what makes it even more interesting on top of that, Gareth, and something that you've brought up many times, is that people now are so encouraged to be so open online, to share everything about their lives. So
Correct.
not only is it a rare commodity, it's actually one of those things that you don't actually appreciate anymore. And people laying themselves so thin with all their overshares.
What do you think of that, Simpiwe?
I'm a bit traumatized with all the oversharing that takes place on social media because people think what they're sharing is so it's so usual. And it's like, no, this is not. This is the fact that you slept with your mom or your dad or your cousin. That's something that is, we can't normalize that. And people just said so nonchalant, oh yeah, like, one time I was drunk and I just saw my sister and I decided to just, spread some cheeks. You're like, excuse me, this is not normal, sir.
Spread some, cross that line, Ben. Spread some cheeks. Good. That's good. Nice
we all know
nice.
we all know the title of this podcast.
Yeah. Spread some cheeks.
Yeah, but you see, and then they just share that, and you're like, I didn't need to know that, honestly. In fact, there was a TikTok trend recently where the audio was basically.
Wow, TikTok's really.
It's crazy. I'm chomps. I'm not okay. But where people were sharing or they backstabbing friends or people sleeping around with this person to get an iPhone. And I was just like, why do I know so much about your business? This is not okay. This should not be normal. We shouldn't just be airing out our business just because this is a TikTok trend going on right now. So stop with the oversharing. Stop it. Just call your girlfriends. Have a glass of wine or something instead of putting it up on Twitter or Instagram.
The real value is the stuff that you actually keep to yourself and to your closest friends and to your family. Obviously, that stuff that you don't share that's the commodity. I mean, I've said this before.
Yeah, but guys, it also comes back to the fact that people just don't have connections in life. And unfortunately, the internet then becomes that connection, which they then have to confide in, they have to get acknowledgement from, and they have to keep updated because they don't have friends like us. So they've got to go spread the cheeks to get the friends.
I love that. Spread them.
I'm never going to stop using those as a phrase.
Jesus. I mean, is that what it comes down to, Simpiwe? Is spread them cheeks?
Yeah.
If it gets you an iPhone, I mean, are we talking 14 Pro here or like a 6S?
It depends what you want. I'm just saying, if that's what you did, I don't need to know that.
Simpiwe, an old iPhone 6S for spreading them cheeks.
I mean, people pay for sex for 20 rand somewhere. There's a sex park in Pretoria, and you can, for 20 rand. Yes.
Whoa! Wait a second. What is a sex park? What is this all about?
I'm all ears here.
No.
So there's a place in Pretoria. It's a sex it's a sex farm or park, either way, and people there actually, pay as little as 20 rand for sex.
What?
And someone brought it up to say that should be illegal. You can't be buying sex for 20 rand. That can't be it.
What do people walk around this park and they try to find
I think there are prostitutes there. I think if you go to that particular area, there are prostitutes. I just think that if you're selling for 20 rand, you're gonna catch something. It can't be that cheap. No.
Of course.
It can. You are leaving with something. You are, and so that's the whole fight on Twitter now. It's they need to increase their prices because 20 rand is a bit too cheap.
Yeah, I agree. But if for 20 rand, that means there must be many practitioners in one place. The supply and demand sounds like it's way off here. See, again, access, okay? Guys, it always goes back to the same thing. There's too much access in that park.
So Ricky says, is it farm or park? Because are you sure it's only humans?
That's dangerous. That's where the danger is, when you start messing around with people that are not humans or things that are not humans. But yeah.
Carl has a problem with the way Ben pronounces us.
Cool, Carl. Awesome.
Great.
It's glad you shared that with us.
Yeah, Ben, basically Carl is trying to force you to conform. What do you say?
Cool. Any other words, Carl? I'm sure there's 7 or 8 or 9 or...
Okay, good. There's a vending machine, Aibo. Apparently, the vending machine is in the sex park. Is that right, Simpiwe?
Yo, I did not know that. I was still caught up about the fact that you could buy sex for 20 rand. Like what? That's the price of bread. No.
Are you sure this is current? I mean, the inflation's got to hit every market, right? So this isn't COVID prices.
That's why people are complaining.
No,
people are complaining.
People are complaining.
I do not believe. No, hang on, Sipiwe. I know you know stuff that we don't know, but I grew up in Pretoria. I've never ever heard of a sex park ever in my life. What is
because
this?
It's not your places, Gareth. All I'm saying, if it's not your places and the places you go to, then you can't judge. I just saw the uproar in that people should not be charging 20 rand. It should be way more expensive. And that was the big like commotion about it. It's that people are actually paying just 20 rand. It's like, what? That is.
Well, have a look at this. This is Kenny Kunene, who was for some time the mayor of Johannesburg. Look at this. Tell me what you think of this. Okay, you ready?
This is Boulevard Sellers. Let me tell you a secret. I'm coming here. I'm from work. I'm coming to buy Ace of Spades. I hear that they've got the cheapest prices from today up until on Monday. I'm coming to get myself 2 boxes of Ace of Spades. It's so cheap. Arman people now. They have the cheapest prices. Corner 7th Avenue and Rivonia Road. You know, by Nando's, opposite Chicken Licky. Yes, I'm coming.
Welcome, Mr. Trini. How are you? Well, and you, Dante. Well.
You got my order already?
No, this is for other gentlemen.
My brother, you also here? Let me get the cheapest price. Excellent. I want those 2 boxes that we have ordered, but I want some in the ice packet already.
Yes, right away, Sati, right away.
They've got the cheapest price on Ace of Spades. I can't believe it. I'm getting 2 boxes. Once in a lifetime. From today until Monday, I have approved.
So, isn't the point of buying Ace of Spades that it is expensive? Why would you be talking about having a special?
Yeah. This is a 20 rand sex story on another level here, basically.
Shame. I mean, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen.
But is this where we at as a country? Like we are promoting the fact that alcohol is on promotion from today until Monday. Like, let's get a whole case of Ace of. Is this way? Do we not have more serious issues to worry about than Ace of Spades?
And by the way, Simpiwe, this is somebody who has sought political office. Okay, it's not some rich guy who's like hanging around. He wants to spend his money, do something fun for the weekend. This is someone who actually is in a government. I mean, he was for a little while in government position with Al Jamaa. I think that was he was in some coalition agreement with them. For a little while, he was our acting mayor. Remember?
Yeah.
Guys, he's an influencer. Did you not see by the orange pants? He's an influencer. And Rivonia Boulevard's liquor, we're just trying to shift some stock.
Everything. Okay,
of course, guys, he's an influencer. He's going there to show you. He's just promoting the place. Did you see the guy, that Eastern European guy behind the counter? Hello, Mr. Kanani. I'm fine. And how are you? And cheapest. That guy was like a robot. It was a script.
Can they just stop? Can they just stop? Like I'm just mad right now because we don't need another promotion of alcohol. South Africans drink. We all know that. We all know that South Africans drink wire. We don't need to know when there's a special on Ace. We really, really don't. I think what he could have done is actually put lights on some of the small businesses in the area. Like all we know now is that Ace of Spades is on sale. What does that do for our economy? Really?
At a small business. He said opposite Chicken Licken. He was promoting the liquor store.
Yeah. Leban says, your batong, Kenny is just an embarrassment. I mean, I kind of don't know how to. I think that's the whole story right there.
It's just, No, it's as bad as what recently happened. So, Shein, which is a fast fashion brand, sent like a bunch of influencers to like their head offices in China. They came back and they reported on it. They're like, oh my gosh, Shein is such a great, it has such a great working environment, and all the rumors that we've heard are completely, utterly not true. And the internet was like, wait, whoa. Maybe you don't know, but here are the facts of what's actually been happening with their factories, underpaying their staff, children working and whatnot.
Sure.
And then they came back and they're like, oh no, we did the research. You guys are being fed propaganda. This is not true. This is not what's happened. What's being fed?
The children in the sweatshop wish they could be fed.
Oh, my word. And it's just like, can you guys shut up? You guys don't know what's really going on in the world. And now here you are with a small audience thinking that you know everything. And now we must listen to you for like the next 90 seconds. Oh, gosh.
Well,
you know how I feel. I mean, I feel if children in sweatshops can make high quality T-shirts for us, I'm all for it.
I agree, but at the same time, those influencers were spreading their moral cheeks very wide for that trip. Huh?
Spread the cheeks.
Here we are, moral and professional.
The word of the day.
If you want to know anything this morning, the only key words for this morning's show are spread them cheeks. Everybody
Guys,
needs.
I went to the factory where they showed us how great everything is. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, where you had a chaperone, like in North Korea, and they're like, don't notice all those children working 24/7 to manufacture things. Just look over there. There's a beautiful sunny picture. Alan wants to know, what are we complaining about today? Well,
Alan, your profile pic. Oh, look! What are you trying to say there, Alan? You're an adventurer.
Simpua, what do we think?
You're reaching there, Alan.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he looks like someone who's always out and about. So that means you travel a lot. You definitely don't travel in South Africa.
He's
you
trying.
do international
He's trying too hard.
Travel.
That picture is probably about 6.5, 7 months old, at least.
Years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan's put on a few. You can clearly lost all his hair.
So, yeah, Alan, we are definitely complaining about you this morning. That's what we're doing. All right, we've got to take a break, 7 o'clock, and we've got some commercials to get to and a whole bunch of other stuff. When we come back, Ben, Simpiwe, and I are ready to take care of you. And we've got more guests and lots of cool stuff happening between now and 8 o'clock this morning. Good morning. It is Friday on cliffcentral.com.
Every time you listen to that 80s show, Tom Cruise lives another 10 years. Every Friday on cliffcentral.com, Paolo and Dory review movies, reminisce about old songs, remember childhood places that are now car parks, and say some outrageously rude things about Patrick Swayze's brother. That 80s show, new episode every Friday, live or as a podcast on cliffcentral.com.
Hi, I'm Barrett Edelstein. Join me for my podcast, Celeb Savant. Today I'm with Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
So right at the moment, I'm at home in London, but after I speak to you, I'm going to pack my bags.
3 of the members of UB40, Earl, Matt, and Jimmy.
Well, we're in the middle of a tour at the moment.
A career retrospective with actors, singers, and entertainment industry experts every Friday morning at 9 o'clock on cliffcentral.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This week on the Auto Trader podcast.
One thing I wanted to talk about. So on the road fees, which is another terminology which dealerships have been using for a while. There's been headlines recently of dealerships having to pay back the on the road fees. I'm not too sure if you have any insights into this. I read the article a little bit, but maybe you can explain exactly what on the road fees are.
Well, I mean, this is a point of hot debate, and it has been for a long time. There are costs involved in getting the car from being in stocked form to being on your name, license and registration, a roadworthy check, all that stuff done. There are costs involved to that process. Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
Well, I mean, I just saw a picture of George Meany this morning. Ben, I think he might be competing with you. Look at this. I'm going to put it on the screen. This is George right now. Okay, you ready?
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, George Meany.
It's not a fad. It's not a fad. It's not some stupid trend. It'll really add so much. Good for you, George. Good for you.
Right. Very good. I looked out of the window just now, and I looked at that pool of mine, and I'm like, oof.
Perfect. Your pool is so perfect for a plunge every single day. It's the right size. It's close to the indoors if you want to run inside and squeal. It's just you've got the perfect pool. It doesn't get much sun.
I hear you, but there is no way. Sorry, not going to happen. It's something for Ben. Ben, if you get an extra 5 years of life out of this that I don't get, I'm okay with that.
But you're not, though, because you want to live longer than any other person I know. So you're contradicting yourself here. All for a little.
Ben, I'll manage. I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be fine.
I just don't get what you could be scared or apprehensive of. That's all.
It's
such an odd thing.
Fucking
It's
and I can't even get. Okay, I cannot get into a cold shower in the morning. I know you did this for a long time before you started the cold plunge, and I still can't do. I cannot even do a cold shower. Sorry.
So, do you want to live the rest of your life like that?
All right.
It's not that hard.
Do you want a bullshit poll from Simpiwe? She always brings these things. It's time for ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a poll from Simpiwe on Cliffcentral.com. It's Friday morning. It's just after 7 o'clock. Here it is. The countries you are most likely to die in as a tourist. This is great advertising. So here we are.
Haiti. Definitely Haiti.
I can tell you're wrong, Ben. I did share this a bit earlier, but I'll share it with you guys. And the reason why I am sharing this is because a lot of people like to chase summer. And I just want to make sure that the people that are planning their holidays, they know which countries they should be going to or which countries they should be avoiding. So I will share like the most likely way for a tourist to die. And the number one is getting on a bus. So if you get on a bus, the chances of you not surviving are very, very high. And some of the other crazy ways that tourists have died in like the space of the past 2 years is 2 people have died from food poisoning. 4 people have been buried alive. 6 people have died on an amusement park ride. 14 people have died from trying to take a selfie. So you know where the danger is.
I'm sorry, those people completely deserve it. I have zero sympathy for people who are trying to take a selfie and then they die. Sorry.
And then we've had 25 people die from being attacked and killed from an animal. So next time you see that lion, just move to the left. All right. And then I'll do the top 5 tourist nationalities that are most likely to die. So at number 5, we have American. Number 4, British.
I get that. Yeah.
3, Chinese. 2, Russian. and number 1, South Korean. Those are the nationalities. So
Ooh,
just beware when you travel.
When you said South, I got very nervous for a second there.
Oh no, South Africans, nah. They if you can survive South Africa, you can survive anywhere. I promise you. Now, these are the countries where you're most likely to die as a tourist. So I'll give you the top 5. At number 5 is Thailand. At number 4, France. At number 3, South Korea. Number 2, which I did not expect it, Egypt. And number 1, China.
Dun, 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 dun. What do you think, Ben?
May I just point out that Haiti is not on the top of the list because they don't have tourism. If they did, they would be the top.
Yeah.
But yes,
I think
that's a very
right.
Look, I'm surprised more people don't die in Thailand than the other ones because people go there and they get so fucked in all kinds of ways that I'm surprised. Because also like there's a volume of travel to Thailand, the distractions, the narcotics, the stimulants, all those things. But I'd like to know why it is in China. Is it just because it's an unsafe place once you get out of cities? Is it because the food kills you? Like, I would love to know the breakdown.
I heard something disgusting from a friend just a couple of weeks ago about how people spit on the sidewalks in China. Yeah. And apparently there's just mountains of phlegm on the side of the roads. Is that true? Is that what you've heard as well?
So before they had the Olympics, when was that? 2008? There was an entire like organization around getting people to be less disgusting. It literally was that. Obviously, they didn't use those words, but there was a whole initiative where they were telling people like, please don't spit on the street, and they were absolutely flabbergasted how they could be told not to do this. It was like their right as being Chinese. It was a big thing. I remember watching like on 2 different networks back then. There was like a whole piece around that, and they would ask people about it, and people smoke their spits. It was horrible.
Congo Chris says, what the fuck is going on with South Korea? Good point.
Ninjas.
Is that what that is? Is that it?
Charon 6594 makes a really good point. By the time the super gonorrhea kicks in, you've already actually left Thailand. So.
Yeah, probably about right.
Technically can't be a stat. I would still
Congo Chris says it can't be worse than South Africa. I saw a hobo literally pissing in the middle of the road in 3 lanes of traffic. When else did you see someone pissing in
every
open spaces? Every day?
Every day. And I don't live in the worst area, and I don't commute. I mean, basically my life is between Ilovo and Morningside, covering Sandton CBD, and I see people pissing pretty much every single day.
And you, Simpiwe?
The only time I see that is when I've gone out for a draw and the guys just, before they leave, they just right by the car, they'll take a piss, and then you're like, what the hell? And then that's about it. I don't really see it like during the day. No, it's when boys have just been drinking and they do boys things. So yeah, which gets me mad.
That's very embarrassing.
I just thinking back to my trip to Australia last year. The best thing about it, like genuinely, was the fact that I never smelled piss publicly. Everywhere I went, I never ever smelled human piss. And there was areas where it could happen. I took the train every day. I mean, I was in cities, but I never once smelled piss. That could almost be a slogan in itself. Come here, you don't smell piss.
Right. Hamin says, my stepdad was in China. He says they spit everywhere on streets, trains, and shops, right in front of you. I think he was hit once or twice. Ugh.
Like, how did that even just become normalized? Like, what happened? You just woke up one morning and you're like, and then, let me do it.
Who hurt you on the doll that you had to do this to people? Spit.
Yeah, I just don't think people have ever been told differently. But our well-traveled friend Alan says that it happens a lot in Paris. People piss in the metro all the time.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, he says so now. The metros reek of piss, according to him. But even, New York's the subway is just disgustingly fucking smelly. It smells of piss the whole time.
Yeah. Now I don't feel so bad about Joburg CBD anymore.
Ad B says, a few weeks ago, I saw a guy in a C-Class, a new C-Class, pull over and take a slash next to the car in a suburb in peak hour traffic.
Yeah.
What
I've
is
seen that
happening to
before.
us people?
Yeah,
I've
this
seen
is
that
what
before
men
as well.
do. This is
Whoa,
what
whoa,
men
whoa,
do.
whoa.
It's
Easy.
just
You cannot meet to all of us here, Simpiwe. I will sooner drive in agony, and get to a place where I call my own or publicly assign for it and urinate there. I will never. Like if I'm out in the bush somewhere and there's no opportunity for that, even in the Kruger Park, I had to literally take my pants off to prevent the pressure on my bladder because I wanted to go to a place, and I'm not really scared about going out. You can pee in the park; it's fine. People say you can, but I would not. We got to the rest camp, got out, an awkward walk to the long drop, but I made sure I did something civilized.
For sure. I mean, Rochelle says even Scotland stinks of piss. Oh, aye. Yeah. And Dusty Nose says Budapest apparently has a reek of piss. I mean, that's awful, very upsetting.
All I shall say, Ben, is that you guys might be in the minority. I've seen way too many guys from different ages, different races, just do that. And it's like almost a thing of like, it's frustrating.
Graham Rogers in the comments,
do
Graham Rogers says, I've seen girls squat before on the side of the road.
Probably.
So I've never seen the comment section buzz so much about anything other than now we've mentioned pissing. Everyone is just basically laying down how they're living in the smell of urine.
Very disappointing, everybody. I'm sorry. This is not what we wanted for a Friday morning. I mean, we really expected more from everybody, but there we go. It's all because Simpiwe decided to bring her bullshit list of places that you shouldn't go on holiday. That's essentially what it was.
I'm trying to be a good person here. I'm just trying to, when you plan your holiday, just have that in mind. Just have that in mind.
So, Simpiwe, there's one other thing before Ben goes. I think this is pretty interesting. The most expensive golf course in South Africa.
Ben, I've been told that you've been there. So this is me basically trying to get some brownie points to go with you the next time you go. Just so that I could meet, potential future hubby one day, someday. This is the links.
Fan course.
So it's the links, which is in George by the Garden Route in Western Cape. And I saw that members have to pay over like 2 million rand. And I was like, sign me up. It's quite a prestigious.
2 million rand.
I know, right? Like,
so
golf course.
That was always kind of the thing, that you pay $100,000 to get into the door. And I mean, obviously, it's mostly foreign people who have that. People who can literally park a plane at the George airport rather than us parking a car in a car park.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Sign me up. I'm ready to. I've started learning the term, what handicap means. I'm just saying, Ben, like, work with me here. Like, and I'll learn, I'll learn how the game actually is played. I just want to go.
I mean, this brings up an interesting question. It's like, what is the most exclusive course in South Africa? Which course can not anybody play unless they know somebody?
Well, look, right here in Johannesburg, there's a private golf course called the River Club. You can't just rock up there. You can't just go play. And then obviously it comes down to two. There's the links at Fan Court, and then there's Leopard Creek.
Right.
So those are the only two you need to really worry about. In America, where people make shady money doing shady things, there are private golf courses all around there, and they have been for a very, very long time. So that's more the sort of private country club. It's a real honor and tradition to get into these places. It's super, super exclusive. But even like, Leopard Creek or the links, you just need to kind of have money and a little bit of network and a little bit of class. And I'm sure you can find a way. But yeah, they really are special. And I think they're very special for society. I listened to a podcast recently with Malcolm Gladwell. I didn't realize he was a communist, but this podcast told me differently. And he was talking about how the fact that golf is so absurd because you have such huge amounts of land for so small, few amount of people to use. And I think he's missing the point. He goes on about the fact that LA's got these amazing golf courses, but as a runner, you have to run on the side of the road. It's like, yeah, well, make your own thing in life. Stop bitching about people who have stuff and they've been galvanized into creating this a long time ago.
It makes you sound spoiled
and
resentful and bitter.
Hugely.
Yeah.
But some people, I wouldn't suggest going to the links at Fan Court. Firstly, it'll be very quiet because it's so exclusive. I've played there 3 or 4 times. It's not a brag, but you'll never see lots of people there. So you might see 2 people, and then that's it.
Ben, is there any golf course in South Africa that you wish you could get into that you haven't?
Oh yeah, Millvale. I haven't played there yet. So that's sorry, I forgot about that because it is so hyper hush exclusive. That's the only place I haven't played at, and I would love to. But that is, there's stories around Millvale which you should get someone to tell you about. Like, it's a really interesting place, interestingly built, acquired, run. I've heard many stories around Millvale.
It's like an 18-hole golf course on a private farm.
It's amazing. The Sunshine Tour played an event there recently, or I'll say recently, probably 4 or 5 years ago, because Investec, it's their golf course. Investec was doing the whole thing. That's super special. I haven't been there, so I can't tell you, but it's right up there with exclusivity comes, and there's such a mystique around the place.
Gary Player designed at least 9 of the holes, right?
Well, Gary will design all 18. He'll also pick your staff. He'll devise the eating plan for you. He'll do everything.
Right. Obviously.
Gareth, he normally does 18 holes. It was just the 9 holes in Myanmar that one time.
All right, Ben, before we go, next week we're starting something with Super Bets, which I think people will be excited about. We've often had complaints from listeners to this show that since you stopped doing your regular sports update, they feel like there's a gap in their lives. And we feel like we need to input some sport into the show. So this is our opportunity, and we're doing it along with Super Bets.
Well, guys, and not only are we doing that, but next weekend is the weekend of weekends. It's the start of July, basically, the first weekend.
Right.
UFC 290, which is obviously huge. So Dricus du Plessis, Cameron Simon are fighting. But it's also the time where the European summer really kicks on. So we're going to start moving into things like Wimbledon. The Grand Prix is obviously going to be huge. We've got the Open Championship of Golf coming up. And then football does come back around sort of August. So we're in a bit of a lull right now in sport, but as of next weekend, it fires up big time, and I'm very excited about this.
Awesome. So we start that next week, everybody, and get ready, because it gives you an opportunity to delve into sport, to have a little bit of excitement and hype around the weekend as it comes. And then on Monday mornings, we will be doing a quick review along with Super Bets of what's going on over the sporting weekend. So lots of cool stuff. All right, Ben, we'll let you go. Have an awesome weekend. Behave yourself, and we will see you on Friday next week. Cheers.
All right,
Ben Karpinski, everybody. Very, very nice. Very nice. Let me welcome to the show somebody who I'm really excited to have on here. I know you are too, Simpiwe. Her name is Kgalaletsang Tsongo. She is a content creator, a brand ambassador, an actress, a painter, a makeup artist, an influencer, and a comedian. And she has 2.7 million followers on TikTok. She is right here. Kgalaletsang, nice to see you. How are you?
Good morning. What a beautiful intro. I could take you everywhere, so you could just give me that beautiful intro. Good morning, Cynthia.
Well,
good morning, Gareth.
You know what? It's all true. So you deserve the accolades, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. So apart from looking as good as you do, how do you get to 2.5 million followers on social media?
I would say is building a great community. It's definitely staying consistent. And most importantly is finding your niche. Like, what are you good at? And I found that by trial and error. And thank God, through the trial and error, I became what I am today.
It's amazing. I mean, everybody wishes that they were a social media influencer, because it sounds like a good job. It sounds like a cool thing to do. It sounds like a good way to make a living. Yeah, but it's a lot harder than people think. I mean, how much content do you feel that you have to put up on a weekly basis?
I mean, when I started to generate about 400 K followers a month, I had to produce about 20 videos a day. You know, usually they say quality over quantity, but I had to basically produce both. And with that help of producing 20 videos a day, I was able to generate over 400K followers. So it's a lot of work. It's your whole day. I wake up right now, like 5 o'clock, I'm up. I start off my morning with a lovely Nescafe Classic coffee, and that keeps me going. You know, I need it. And by 6 o'clock, I also knock off and I'm like tired. And then I have editing to do. I have posting and interacting with my followers, because I have to interact with my community to know who they are and grow together.
What does that mean? Replying to every single email, every single comment? Is that what you have to do?
So with every video that I produce, they come comments in the comment section. So they respond to those videos that I create, and I have to respond. I sit there and I respond to all of them and engage with my followers. That's how you know your community. I don't just like post and just let the videos go. I actually interact and engage. So that's why I always say that I have such a beautiful family. All 2.7 million followers of mine are actually my family. They are so dear to my heart. I grow with them and they grow with me. So it's been a beautiful journey. It has.
But so somebody in the comments says here, I don't understand how Gareth shits on influencers, then has them on the show. I mean, when simply like, back me up on this. When have I shat on influencers? I mean, we've created influencers at Cliff Central, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. But also I think it's a different spectrum when you hear what people actually have to do and learning that it's a day-to-day job, as opposed to us just say, oh, we saw this video and we think this video is crass and we don't need more videos like this.
I mean, I don't blame, anyone for thinking that influencers just get it easy and all that kind of stuff. Social media is fake. We know that. And there's a lot of people that put this facade, and which is also why I say that I have a lot of young followers, which I always tell them to live authentically and live to their true selves. They mustn't try and compete and be like these what they see on social media. It's a whole thing that is put on. It's like a show, So, but even in that, there's great light. There are people that are like us, like comedians. There are people who genuinely love makeup and they teach.
Okay, but Khalaletsang, let's talk about the money. I mean, like, is there enough money for you to be able to do this full time?
Of course, I am a full-time content creator. I started my career 4 years ago. As much as there is money and you can build yourself, right now I am feeling the strain, just like everybody else with the economy. It's, with my landlord also putting more pressure on my end by raising the rent to 5,000 Rand. I then have to just adjust. This is a time where you look at adjusting. You can make a life and a living out of the content creation money if you're not trying to live a social media life. You have to live your own true life.
For example, I mean, do you talk about that on your own platforms, that rent has gone up, that things are more expensive? Is that the kind of stuff you share with your people?
That's something that I'm going to talk about, because I just fought with RentPro right now, because I was like, they were like, well, you can't just like end your lease now because you have to like finish it, and or else you're going to face penalties. I was like, let me face penalties. I don't mind, but I'm not paying for somebody else's mortgage. Like, I'm a single lady. I'm paying for my school, paying for my living, and now I must pay for an extra 5K for somebody else's living. Like, no way. So I was like, make me face the music, but I'm not going to go through all of that. So that is something that I'm still working on with them. And then I will definitely be telling my followers that it is part of life. It is happening. And I think they find it hard. A lot of people find it hard to adjust. Like, oh, I can't leave my house. I can't do this. I can't leave my car. Well, leave it, or else it's going to get repossessed. It's choose your battles in this case.
It's tough out there.
It is tough for everybody. I mean, the economy is not getting any easier. So I suggest everybody just adjust where you can. It's okay to start over. It's okay.
Yeah, I think that's very sensible. So just in case people don't know, you started this 3 years ago.
Yes.
You've been known for, you play all kinds of characters in your...
About 10 of them, yes.
There are 10 of them. And this is on TikTok mostly. Is TikTok the best place to get out there, to make yourself known, to let these characters live their lives? Is this where you go, TikTok?
This this is where you go. I always just tell people that it's such a beautiful platform if you know how to use it. You know, this is where I found my skills and developed and developed my skills and found my talents. Basically, I never knew that I could act or perform. You know, even as a painter, it helped me develop my skills and actually sharpen them. So I always tell people, like, think of a diamond. You know, when it's buried up in the dirt, you don't see the beauty in it. So once you take it out and refine it, just like your skills and your talent, that's when you see the beauty. So if you're sitting there and you're just looking at people and watching them day to day, judging them, doing whatever you're doing, and not working on your own skills and talents and using that same platform you could be getting money from, then you're playing with your time. So I suggest to always my followers, which I call my dream berries, I'm like, my dream berries, refine your skills. You can make it. Everyone has an opportunity to make it.
Just tell us about some of these characters. I mean, give us insight for those people who don't know.
Who do we have today?
Today, this is the real Halale sang.
No, but I love this, that you're actually breaking out of character, because I love when people can do a character well. When people can do an accent, they can put in a character, they can put on an outfit, and they can make it, funny.
It is so fun. I mean, I grew up as the only child, and people always ask me, aren't you bored? Don't you get bored? I'm like, I don't get bored. And now I realize why, because I have all these characters in my head that are constantly playing, even within myself. So we have Mama Hali, who is the most dramatic person. She makes tomato soup by smashing tomatoes with her head and bashing her head on the counter. She's very exaggerated. And then we have little Hali, who is also another character. So fun. And she's relatable to the young followers, and she speaks her mind. She's just so fearless. She was also trying to go as a candidate for our Minister of Youth, because she was trying to compete in that sense. Seems like everybody can be a youth minister, right? So we try in this family of mine, we're trying to channel politics, as much as it's comedy. We dance, we follow trends, we talk about things that make people feel uncomfortable, but in a sense where people also get educated at the same time.
What kind of thing makes people uncomfortable?
When you talk about politics, like when now with the bricks, let's say with the bricks, I made a meme where Mama Hali's sitting at a table and then she's literally dishing up these bricks, and the caption was, "Come dine with me." It's like little talks like that. And when there was the 22 million rand flag, we will make a little bit of content around that, not getting too much into it, but because a lot of people are so sensitive now, and we have a lot of bullies and trolls, and I try not to give an opportunity for that.
You mentioned also that you're a painter. I mean, when you talk about being a painter, a lot of people go, "Oh, well, you obviously just throw shit on a canvas and see what sticks." You do portraits, right?
I do portraits. Even for Steve Harvey's 60th birthday, I drew a beautiful portrait. He even acknowledged it. He really loved it. I did one of Pearl Tusi when she was going through a hard time as well, just to say, I'm a woman, I'm on your side, and I'm supporting you. I drew a portrait of her. I even delivered it to her. There's a few artists that I draw of, and it's great that they acknowledge the talent and the work.
Can I request one?
Of course. Send me a picture, black and white, and I will do it.
No, simply she's been desperate to hang a picture of herself in her entrance.
She wants a big one. I'll even make it as big as we can get.
Well, I mean, simply you just need to send a decent photograph, and then that how
not
you
the filtered one, because a lot of people have a lot of filtered photos.
Okay, so what do you usually work off of, and what's your medium? Is it oil, acrylic? What do you do?
So it's oil on canvas. I started painting back in high school. And when I was living in America, how crazy is this? That's why I always talk about refining your skills and your talents. When I was in the States, I didn't paint for the whole 4 or 5 years. So that's almost like a wasted talent. That's wasted time that I could have been working very hard. Now, painting a portrait as big for Steve Harvey, it would have been more refined. I feel like that it could have more work, so there's always room for improvement. But I do oil on canvas, and I love using black and white, but obviously I am still working on other mediums and more color, refining the skills.
So you were one of the recipients of the 2023 Next Big Thing South African Style Award. What does that mean?
Well, that's an accolade. Firstly, it's an accolade that is not to do with the clothes that we wear. It's not about the garments, how we look, how it is. It's the Style Awards, they choose talent. They choose people that they see have potential or are doing or are disruptive in their respective businesses. So as for TikTok, I mean, I'm a multi-award winner on TikTok. I've been recognized all over for what I do. And in the short space of time, I think it's a beautiful award to get, and it was just a great validation that I'm on the right track. Sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I like everybody else? Am I contributing anything in the community? Because I don't want to just be a comedian, laugh. But am I? Yeah.
So, what about the @Halle B. Berry name? I mean, Maxoni asks in the comments, is it not misleading?
The Halle B. Berry, it's actually not misleading. That name, I've carried it from primary school. I grew up going to Afrikaans schools and white dominant schools. And a lot of my teachers were not able to pronounce my name. So I remember one time my mom pulled me aside and she was like, yo, Halle, this was in primary school and Afrikaans school. She was like,
they called you Halle?
She's like, your teachers cannot pronounce your name. They can't say Halaletsang. So we're going to have to call you by your nickname. And that's Halle. So that's when for since high school, I said Halle. And then people would be like Halle Berry. Then when I got on social media, I just said Halle B. Berry. And it's something that stuck.
But we like that, right, Simpiwe?
Mm-hmm. There's a song, it reminds me in high school where they're like, Halle Berry, Halle Berry.
That's what exactly. I would go through the corridors and everybody would always do that through the corridors. So it's just a name that stuck. Right. And I feel like now sometimes when they see my name that is verified on TikTok and I comment on something, people are like, oh my gosh, it's so deceiving because I thought it's an actual Halle Berry. And I'm like, it's a Halle Berry of South Africa. So don't complain. You have me here.
So one of the other things I've read about you, and you could tell us a bit about this, is that you lived in America for 5 years.
I did.
So that's pretty wild. I haven't lived in a foreign country for that long. What is it like, and what did you learn?
Oh, firstly, I moved when I had just graduated high school. I went there as an au pair in a different foreign land where I thought it was going to be the land of milk and honey. So as I was an au pair for 2 years, I then hustled it out and I worked as a waitress. I had 2 jobs because in America to live there, you have to hustle, and that was me having 2 waitressing jobs. And from there, I was like, you know what? I didn't come to this country to be like a slave driver like this. Like, it's too much. This is not what I came to do. I wanted to get to school. I wanted to make it. I wanted to have a different story. So then I came back home and obviously, let me go back to America. I traveled to 18 states. I made great friends, and all with my au pair money and all my waitressing money, because I was like, as much as I wanted to save, you can't save because you're earning in dollars and you're spending in dollars. So a lot of people are like, oh, I thought you would come back here a millionaire. And I'm like, I'm sorry to disappoint y'all. So it was a beautiful experience for sure.
You have to spend dollars if you're earning dollars, right? I mean,
of course.
People forget, like, if you're going to earn dollars, that doesn't mean you spend rands.
So now they think you're coming here and they're going to times everything that you were earning. And I'm like, no, you have to even leave that mentality when you get there. You can't be like, oh, I'm spending $20 and you're like 300 Rand. No, it's like 2 Rand, So yeah, you can't be converting everything, but it was a beautiful experience. I lived in Washington, D.C., and
Nice.
I can say from my travels, New York was my favorite city. It's full of life. It's full of opportunities. And because I was such a young lady at the time that needed that, to keep going, I kept New York in my head, and it was also on my vision board from the age of 9. I was like, one day I will live in New York, and I got to experience it. I got to see it. And the land that I thought was the land of milk and honey for me, unfortunately, was not. It happened that I come back home and my life completely took a 360. So,
I mean, you're admitting something people don't talk about, that it is very difficult to live in these places. And New York it chews people up and spits them out, right?
yes. It's hard. You see it. You see the people, even though they're living in New York, it's just like a fast-paced life. Everybody's within themselves, which is why you would think New Yorkers are rude, because life is dribbling them, because if they don't keep up to the pace, it's gonna spit them out. So it is like that.
I mean, it's way harder than people think. And everybody looks at this and they go, oh, well, you're very lucky you got to get there. Getting there is like it's half the job.
They think that, and I also used to think that and want people's life. You envy people's lives, but you don't understand what sacrifices they had to make to be here. I mean, people would want to be where I am and want to be a content creator and make it, because a lot of content creators don't even make it. It's because I had to literally separate myself from friends, from life in general, and just dedicate 24/7 to my craft, to be the next big thing, to be original as I could, to research what hasn't been done in the industry, and I had to do it and bring it in my niche, in my comedic field.
I love this this energy, though. I mean, like, you're so driven, you're so motivated.
Thank you. You've got to be, and one of the most people, my mentors, my momager is definitely my mom. She keeps me driven. She always reminds me to never be like somebody else. Don't try to copycat. We see now everything is just so aesthetic and curated. I mean, just be you. Just who are you? There's only one of you. So let's see what you got.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, people struggle with that, right? Simply, I mean, people struggle with like just being themselves and answering ordinary questions.
Yes, and that's why we follow trend.
Yes, I was going to say that they hop on trends. If they see that this is what's popping, having tea in a white cup, everybody's going to have tea in a white cup. Like, if they see that, it's afro season, everybody's going to have an afro. Right. So people really camouflage to whatever is trending because they want to be at the top of the pile.
And let me tell you, I also did that. I rerouted through my niche. I rerouted and I was like, oh, I want to start doing vlogs and curated this. Let me tell you, my account stopped growing. It went down. Okay, because people are like, we're not here to end this account to be watching you put things nicely, place this and whatever. We came here to see good comedy, to laugh, and you are doing that, but now you're losing yourself within trying to be like other people. So I'm so glad that some of them did unfollow me, and some of them were like, this is not this is not you, That's why I always say, like, I have a beautiful community that they give me constructive criticism and I listen to it, and I'm like, damn, I nearly lost myself there trying to be like other people, trying to fit in.
Let me just give you a bit of credit here. You're also studying a Bachelor of Commerce degree. You're majoring in business management. I mean, you're not just some social media influencer. You've actually got some serious credentials behind this.
Of course, and this is my third year. It has also been a struggle. Also making finances, trying to get that money to pay for my school. But I'm like, I will do it. I will finish it. Even when I was in the States, even if it didn't work out, but I was like, always school is in my head, because even though you're a content creator, social media shouldn't be your whole life. It shouldn't be all you know. I believe that you should get education if you can, and you can afford school and somebody can pay for you, whatever it is. Go to school, because now the economy is going down to, you need to fall back on something. You need to have something you can rely on as well. So you can't, social media. I mean, the last time when Trump wanted to ban TikTok, imagine that happens here in South Africa, and then one day you wake up, nothing, there's no social media.
just for the record, it wasn't even Donald Trump. I think it was recently under Joe Biden that they were talking about banning TikTok.
Even now it's still carrying on, but it's crazy. And yeah, even the other day I woke up and I was like, imagine today I wake up and my TikTok account is gone, it's erased, and I have to start again. Thank God I would have my degree to fall back on, or some experiences of life that I've had to then jump on. Social media can't just be your life.
Simpiwe, you've got some questions, obviously.
I do. So if there's one thing I love asking content creators is, how do you overcome when you have or experience writer's block, or more like that creative block? Because that's what puts food on the table, right? So how do you overcome that?
So I don't believe in experiencing that. There's a lot of things, again, like I said, that are happening in this life. So even within my comedy niche, I'm able to follow the dance trends. Even through that, I'm able to do my makeup. I'm able to do makeup using, even if I don't know how to do that specific dance trend, I can use that trending sound and use it in whatever, whether I'm cooking, it can be making a sandwich, pancakes. It doesn't have to be anything too hard. People make this seem like it's such a big thing, so difficult. It shouldn't be. It's not. It should be a fun thing for you as well. If you want to do this for a long time, then make sure that it's a fun thing for you. Life is happening, inflation, the economy. Talk about that. Research on what's happening in other parts of the world. If your country's not giving you enough sass to talk about, right? Bullying is always happening. We can talk about it in the industry. Young women now selling themselves to sustain their social media lifestyles. You can talk about that in your own ways.
Well,
tell me, there's a lot to talk about.
What do you think about that, for example? I mean, all these young women they're desperate for money, they're desperate for attention. What do you say to that?
It's very hard. I would say for our youth, it's a very sad time. That's why they call us the sad generation. But within the sadness, there's great light and there's a great future. But social media is definitely so stressful, and it's so toxic because you want to be like these people. You want to have these lives that you're seeing. And a lot of people that are getting into these things, they don't know better. They in life, they don't know that if you are getting things fast, you're going to fall fast. I always say, make an example of a ladder, that as you're going up a ladder, you can't skip a step because you're going to slide or you're going to fall or you're going to fumble. You need to actually step on every single step to get to the top, or else, you're just going to miss out a lot of things that you have to learn in life. So a lot of young people, they don't want to work hard and obtain those things. The best reward is working for yourself and getting those stuff by yourself. I mean, I look at my furniture, maybe renting, I'm looking at my furniture and I'm like, I own it. It's mine. I paid it cash. It's mine. Even if I get kicked out of this apartment, it's still my furniture. I don't know where to put it, but it's mine. So just work for yourself. And it's the best reward. It's the best reward. I always encourage my young followers, and I'm like, the right way is always the hardest way, but stick to the right way, because one day you will also want your children to look up to you and do what you did, not do the easy way out, because that's going to be hurtful for you to watch.
So, Khalaletsang, do you feel pressure to have to be a role model, to put out good, positive messages?
There is pressure. You're on this platform. If I didn't want the pressures of life, I shouldn't have been on this platform and carried so much. 2.7 million people. Those are people that
Simpiwe and I feel no pressure at all.
Really? Wow.
What are you mean?
I feel like, I have a lot to also contribute in the society, in the community. And that's whatever I'm teaching, whether it's humility, whether it's love, I don't have to sustain I don't have to try and get a good badge or anything like that. But I feel like a lot of people need help and being directed, especially my young followers. So I do feel like it's even the content that I produce. There's some things that I will produce and then I will delete it. And I'm like, no, my kids are going to be like, I call them my kids. And I'm like, my kids are going to be like, what is this, Mama Hali? So there's a lot of things that I produce. And I'm like, I'm not like all the other content creators. I know what my mission and my purpose is in this life and in my community. I'm not lost. I'm not trying to find myself, which is why I know that I am a role model. So the things that I do are influencing my people. Very much so.
I love that. I think that's so positive. I mean,
Yeah. So
simply
if I'm gonna be a slay queen, I know that my kids are gonna follow me and I want to be slay queens as well. And whatever it is, whatever name they use for people, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you're a slay queen. Don't worry. I think that's a pejorative. I think when people say slay queen, they don't mean it in a positive way.
They don't, right? Yeah,
No.
I think before they used to, but now it's just a complete different narrative. So
we don't want to be part of that group, not at all.
Not at all.
There's a lot going on there, and
you can just call us by name. It's fine. Just classify us by your
I will also say, I will shout out to you because I'm a bit tired of the Miss Independent thing in life. I'm just like, it would be nice not to worry about the debit orders and seeing that money leave my account.
It would be so nice. I look at my statements. my statements and I'm like, the school is asking me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm one man. Can it all stop? But unfortunately, it teaches you because life does not stop. Life does not stop. You gotta do it. You can't. Now, as women, we're giving men the pressures of them having to sustain a lifestyle that they can't even sustain. You want a girlfriend allowance of 50K, your husband or your boyfriend can't even earn that much. They don't even earn that much, so I don't want to be a contribution to anyone doing those kind of things and pressuring anyone else. So I'd rather just sustain my lifestyle, and when you get that person, you're able to help each other.
I'm thrilled that we got to spend this morning with you, and I'm really, really impressed with what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Sure. What's the worst way someone has butchered your name?
Sure. I was even telling Ryan, I was like, you know what? If Gareth can't say my name, it's okay. He can just not butcher it though. But it's a lot. I mean, I lived in the States, and the kha doesn't even go there.
What did they say?
And my stepdad, Sheb, he's from England. He's also tried to say my name, and he also can't say the kha, so he says halaletsang.
Okay.
But it's okay.
What do the Americans call you?
They couldn't even say it. They just knew the meaning of it, and they're like, this is such a beautiful name. They're like, when you go back to South Africa, you need to start using this name, because for the longest time I stopped using halaletsang. I just went by Hali. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we love you, and thank you for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are great, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
And you, my darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Halaletsang Tungu, and she is on social media. You can find her there. She's awesome. What a happy, lovely, positive, bouncy, terrific person for a Friday, right, Simpiwe?
I absolutely love it. She did drop some, gems there. Just be you, do you? And even though I'm tired with this Miss Independent life, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep pushing. So maybe my George trip is put on pause.
No, for sure. Well, here he is, George Meany. Did you have a cold plunge this morning, or was that picture from a while ago?
No, that was this morning, Gareth. Good morning, Simpiwe.
Look at you. Look at you leading the way.
This morning was honestly the coldest that I've experienced it since I started doing it a couple of weeks back.
Yeah?
It was cold. That water was about 13 degrees.
Good.
And a funny thing happens when you get into that cold water is the condensation out of your breath immediately happens. You immediately kind of breathe that condensation.
Jesus. I mean, well done to you, George. It's not something I could do. All right. So what have you got for us on what have you got for us on the agenda this morning?
I was in two minds this morning. I got my feet into the step. I was like, shit, this is cold. This is proper.
Me out.
But I did it. I just plunged and it went. So that's fine.
All right, what have you got for us this morning, George?
First things first, Volvo gave me this beautiful C40 to drive for the last week.
Nice.
It is a really nice car. It's shorter than my I-Pace, taller, feels like a proper SUV, but a really nice car to drive. There's a couple of features on this car that I think Volvo have got right. And the first one is the LED headlights. I didn't know the car had the feature until I went to gym the other night and it was dark. Driving up the road, and a car was coming in the opposite direction, and suddenly there was a black spot on the car. The car's brights, the Volvo's brights were still on, but there was a black spot on the oncoming car. And then I realized what technology it had, and it has this LED technology that recognizes where the light's coming from, and then just creates a hole.
That's dope.
Very, very cool.
Very cool, very cool. And then the other coolest feature is the adaptive cruise control. I don't get scared of the car braking. If you're on the freeway doing 120, it brakes in time. My I-Pace doesn't do it so well. I have to really, watch my I-Pace, because sometimes the car in front of me brakes and then it takes a couple of seconds before it starts braking. This one doesn't do that. It starts to brake immediately when the car slows down in front of you.
Of course. Well, I mean, those adaptive headlights are incredible. I had them on the Mercedes I was driving for a while.
Yes, Mercedes has it as well.
Incredible.
And it's the funny thing is everything is still illuminated except the spot in front of you. I think every car should have that tech.
No, it's amazing. Proper. That is the kind of tech that I always, I'm blown away by. Lots and lots of things, but that to me is tremendous.
That's and I think it should be a standard safety feature. There should be a couple of things like airbags. Those kinds of headlights are definitely a safety feature. I felt like, okay, I'm getting a bit older. Your eyes don't work so well. Now I can drive at night. I feel like I'm 25.
Yeah, right. There we go with your bad eyes.
With my bad eyes.
Terrible eyes. Go ahead.
So 4 cars named after horses, Gareth, and I'm sure everybody's going to say Ford Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, but there's a couple of other cars that are also named after horses, or horse type paraphernalia. And it's funny that cars came directly after horses as a mode of transport, and car companies named their cars after horses. Mostly Ford. For some reason, Ford has gone on this bandwagon. But another one is Dodge, a Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of a Dodge Charger.
Yes, I have.
Now, Dodge Charger, the term Charger was referred to as a cavalry or a war horse back in the days of chariots. Cavalry or war horse. And then the Ford Bronco. You've obviously seen the Ford Bronco. I think, what is his name?
Yeah.
The guy that killed his wife, or allegedly killed his wife.
Simpiwe, do you know? You watch all those CSI channel nonsense, murder, mystery things?
I don't really remember their names. I just remember the crimes that they commit and how to get away with it.
O.J. Simpson, that's it. He was chased on the highway.
O.J. Are you joking? Yes, there was the Ford Bronco. Correct.
Bronco.
Obviously.
Yeah. So the word bronco is used to describe an untrained or non-fully trained horse.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the term bronco means. And then Ford had another car called a Ford Pinto. Now, Pinto refers to the horse's coat color, specifically the one that includes patches. I don't know if you've seen horses with patches, almost like that.
Like a Palomino?
Yes, like a Palomino with patches, and the term is Pinto, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, all of these names are better than some of the names they give for cars that are unrelated to everything. I mean, it's almost like they're making up these words, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think somebody sits in the design center somewhere and makes these things up. Now, here's an interesting one. You've heard of a Mitsubishi Colt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Colt is defined as a young, uncastrated male horse. I didn't know that.
Yep. That's us, George. We're uncastrated males. I don't know if we're young anymore. But we'll claim it.
Exactly. And then moving on to a question that I think will get a bit of revolt if suggested, and that is: would you pump your own fuel in South Africa?
No. No, I don't even know where to start. No.
You went straight out of the gates with a no. Okay. Did you, George?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we're spoilt in South Africa, to be honest. With in overseas, you do everything yourself. You clean your house yourself. You make your bed yourself. You wash the dishes yourself. You pump your fuel yourself. So there were 2 states that had laws that still forced pump attendance, and one of them was Oregon. And recently, in the last month, Oregon has finally abolished the law that attendants have to pump fuel. Now, this law comes from the early 1900s, where it was a safety issue. And they didn't want a person climbing out of the car and pumping fuel and spilling it all over the place and then potential fire. So that's where the pump attendants actually come from. So Oregon is one of the last states to now abolish this law, where attendants don't have to help you. You can help yourself. So it remains to be seen what happens, because usually there's a couple of cents in terms of dollars per liter or per gallon that you save if you pump fuel yourself. But would you do it in South Africa? I don't think so.
I'm not rushing to do it. I think it's probably better that the people who know how to do it, and also for the garages themselves, so that they know what to charge you. I mean, these guys they're good at what they do. They're trained to do what they do. I think it's also employment. It's a job creation. Not a bad idea. Richard has a question for you, George. He says, I'm moving with my wife to Libreville in Gabon. Would it be worth buying a car there? And is it true that you could just use a valid foreign driver's license? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. So Richard, I mean, funnily enough, I spoke to one of my colleagues about this the other day, because they were going to or came from one of the African countries, and you can use a South African driver's license for up to 6 months in an African country. So up to 6 months, I believe.
You see, Simpiwe, this is why we have George on the show. Do you see that?
Yes. But in that 6 months, do you then have to do a new license in the foreign country?
I'd have to go and look into that, Simpiwe. I don't know. It's just that's about all I know. So you can use it, and I believe it's for up to 6 months.
Okay, how about this question, George? Do you have a favorite stretch of road in South Africa? Mine is Meyringspoort, according to Congo Chris.
Congo, I've never heard of Meyringspoort, but my favorite stretch of road is probably the one going up to the Kruger Park, just after Nelspruit. There's a mountainous area there. That's a nice stretch of road to drive.
Beautiful. All right, everybody. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this morning. George, very good to see you. Thank you to Ben. Thank you to all our guests this morning. And most especially, thank you to you for joining us. We will see you on Monday at 6 a.m. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Ciao. Bye-bye.